In a previous video, when I fished with my grandfather, I fished the Old City Lake in West Frankfort, Illinois. Just a couple miles to the north and west sits the New City Lake, a lake that was actually built to hook on to more water source after the old lake had gone dry a few times, back in the 40s or 50s, I believe. This lake is much deeper, it is completely infested with docks, and it's better known for its catfish than anything. Oh, first fish of the day. Boy, that's not a bluegill either. No real surprise here. This is probably a catfish, as this lake is really known for them. Why is that drag not working? There we go. Now we got the drag set. We're gonna go back out here and play him for a while. Pretty good catfish. He's rolling, so I'm sure that's what he is. He's got one more good run in him, I think. Yeah. Not as big as I thought he was, just a good fighter. Way to start the day with a little excitement. These bluegill bugs, they catch everything, folks. Bass, crappie, especially bluegill and red ear. But it's a good way to start the day. See you later. That feels like a crappie. That's what it is. So we're fishing with a bluegill bug. We've caught a catfish and a crappie. Got a pretty good feeling we're going to come up with some bluegill eventually. That was another crappie. Sit here and play with these for a minute just to have some fun, then we're going to go bluegill fishing. See, when a crappie bites, it actually lifts up on the bait. That's why you'll see that cork go onto its side. If you happen to see it right when he bites, he'll lift up on the cork, pop it, and then it'll start to go under. That's how you know it's a crappie usually. First bluegill of the day. Pretty nice bluegill for this lake. Got a 7.5 inch bluegill, not bad. Uh-oh, we may have found us a bed. Look how they inhale that bug. That fish is only 6 inches long, yet he absolutely inhaled that thing. I'm going to throw to what I think is to the outside of the bed. That way I don't disturb too many fish. I did get a little bite out there. By doing this, what I'm trying to do is make sure I don't drag those fish all the way through it, disturbing it too much. You might end up getting a few females out here on the edges waiting to come in to spawn. Once you determine the edges, you'll know how to fish your bed. Okay, by the looks of things, the bed is actually going to be in between these two little grass patches. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to narrow it down just a little bit more. We're going to go just to the left of this small grass patch. Yep, there he is. So we know that the bed ends right around there. Bugs. One thing I'm going to do to try to increase my hook set percentage, I'm going to bite the legs down pretty close to the body. I mean, it's no secret, these fish are pretty small out here. You don't get a lot of big ones like you do at other lakes, but you catch a lot of fish. And now, instead of them focusing on the legs, they're going to focus more on the body. So this may actually lead to a few more hookups when they do bite. I said that and I missed one right there. Making sure this bed isn't over here to the right. It doesn't seem to be. It seems to be out here by this log out here, over in that area. There he is. There we go. That's actually a pretty good, decent little bluegill. Doesn't quite get down to the bracelet, but hey, we'll take it. There we go, 2 for 2. See, just by shortening up those legs, it made it easier to get the hook set. Some of these fish are just peck at those legs, and therefore they're not going to get the thing in their mouth. So you're forced to adjust. This wind is going to get violent on us pretty soon. Hey, a red ear. I thought they had some of these in this lake, but I wasn't sure. Pumpkin seed. God, we're catching everything today, aren't we? Prettiest fish, freshwater fish there is, in my opinion. Nice bluegill. Yeah. This is just difficult right now with this wind blowing in here, making this bay just churn. We're catching some fish still. Another nice bluegill. Found a nice little spot here. A sunfish. The advantages to being in a kayak. They just usually do not hear you until you're right on them. It's fun. Maybe a goggle eye as close as it was to the bank. Nope, nice bluegill. There might be a little bed right there around that boat ramp. Looks like it. Yeah. Pretty good sized bed. Oop, had a bite. There, he got on her. So that bit different. That's a crappie. Had a different bite to it. Folks, I don't know if you remember early on in the shoot, I told you I was going to take a bug and I was going to clip its legs down to make it shorter so it's easier to catch fish. We've caught over 50 bluegill, crappie, red ear. We've caught everything and we're still on the same bug. So that's why I like using these opposed to live bait. You get more bang for your buck. Now, you're not necessarily going to get more bites with these things. You're going to get better quality bites. You're going to save a ton of money when fishing with them because you don't use very many. You can use a 12-pack on an entire day. I've used the exact same jig head for the last 4 or 5 trips now. I make these jig heads personally, and they do not chip. And the hooks are flimsy enough that if you do happen to straighten one out, you can curl it back around with a pair of needle nose pliers. This way you don't have to keep bait alive. You know, crickets are great, but who wants to go into town, keep them alive, pay the $5, $6 for a tube of them, and you're only going to catch 40 or 50 at best with a tube of crickets, when you can spend a lot less money using these plastic Phil's bluegill bugs. If it's one thing for sure now I've proven is these things do work. They work extremely well. There is an art to fishing them. You cannot leave the thing still. If you notice, I always keep the bait moving toward me. I will have intermittent pauses once I reach 12 o'clock with my rod tip. There's one right there. And they usually hook themselves. That's how you know you got one. Look how he swallowed that thing. All I do, I didn't get very far back there, but there's still one on it. I mean, it's literally that easy, and they catch them all times of the year. It does not matter what time of the year it is. I do struggle a little bit more in winter time. I'll tip it with a wax worm or something. But I'll just lift the pole up, start off down here, lift it all the way up to 12. If I don't get a bite, reel up the slack, reel up again, use your pole to lift. You're wanting to use your rod the entire time because the rod is what's going to hook the fish. You don't set the hook on these. You let them set themselves. Like that one, he missed it. That one missed it too. But you just imagine that cork just barely drifting across the top of the water. What those fish are down there doing is picking at it and trying to tear it apart and kill it. Eventually they'll get your hook. When they get that hook, you'll know it. It'll almost set itself. Well, that's going to end it for me, folks. Like I said, that bug has been tore to pieces, but it is still capable of catching fish. I think we caught better than 50 bluegill, crappie, red ear, sunfish, pumpkin seed, bass, catfish. We caught it all today. So we had a blast doing it. But that lake wind warning is taking effect now, and it's supposed to blow pretty hard today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off here just for safety reasons, and I'll see you guys in the next video.